You know, many people in the race for governor, a number of folks who follow politics were wondering why so few candidates came out of the woodwork to run for governor until the end of the filing period, until last Thursday and Friday was when we saw all the major candidates begin to file. It's really quite simple, and it has everything to do with money. In New Hampshire, our election laws are fairly Byzantine, meaning there's a lot of laws, old laws, in which new laws are piled onto old laws. But suffice it to say, one thing is pretty clear, is that once you file for an office, you are an official candidate. Now that's important because if you're not an official candidate, you can raise much more money exploring the campaign than you can once you're an official candidate. How much more? Well, how about $5,000 a piece from a person? That's how much you can raise, say, in the race for governor. Now, once you become a candidate for governor, and you don't want to agree to the campaign spending limits that we have right now, which are voluntary, and you want to be able to spend more than, in the case of the race for governor, more than $1.3 million in the entire election to run for governor, then if you don't take that spending limit, once you become that candidate, you can only spend $1,000. So that's the reason why many of these candidates for governor, most of all the major candidates for governor, didn't show up until the end. It permitted them all throughout the filing period process, that last week after the legislative session had essentially ended. We're coming back for veto days, and we'll talk about that, but it gave the candidates more time to go to these large donors, try to fatten up that war chest. And it's very important, by the way, because if you formed a political action committee to raise money for governor, as many of these candidates did, you're going to have to report for the first time what money you raised and what you spent it on by later this week. So you file very late in order to get as much money in, because very soon after you have to tell the public how much is there. And particularly in this race for governor, that can be pretty important. That first report in the past has had a lot to do with whether candidates have become real viable candidates for governor or not. Does it end the candidacy? Absolutely not. This is still New Hampshire, and many candidates have overcome bad financial performance early on and become serious candidates for governor and for major office. But you can't really underestimate the importance of that first report. And now you understand why none of these candidates showed up at the beginning. Just one of the many examples in New Hampshire of our election laws that have quite a few quirks.